Hey YouTube, I'm bringing you a very quick deck list. Very similar to the one I just posted about Jerry Wang's deck that gave me a little bit of motivation to build this deck in GOAT format. It was a warrior control deck list of some kind, I don't really know, that he played in 2006. I looked at it and thought, wow, that looks really fun. I love a lot of the cards, and so I built it in 2005. Well, as I started playing it, and I've been playing with it a lot in my little chess game matches, that if you will, I realized I really love this deck. I love the way it plays, I love the way it runs, and so I just built on it. And this could be max rarity. I went and took what Jerry Wang had and just kind of made it my own. So I do need to name the deck. I want to name it something after me. First, we play triple Sakuretsu armor. The trap lineup is, I guess, fairly standard. I don't really know what you call standard in GOAT format anymore, but then just a bunch of one-ofs. Triple Sakuretsu, widespread ruin, a trap dushu. So I do play one trap dushu. This could realistically, again, this could be anything else. I do like the idea of one trap dushu. I like bringing the idea of formats beyond 2005 and applying their logic to 2005 format. For example, trap dushu. If you look at any 2007, 2008, up to 2009 when dushu got banned, I believe it was, maybe 2010 actually, every deck runs the one of trap dushu. But they don't do that in GOAT format, which I think is the strangest thing. They don't run at least one. The reason being that your opponent could set 4, or it's only good turn 1 or whatever. But in future formats, people run as many copies they can. So why not still run that one copy in GOAT format? I think more than one kind of clogs, but if you do get that one off, just the advantage that gives you of knowing what is in the opponent's hand on top of sending that card back is just totally worth it. So I do run that one, and it has played out very well. I run one Call to Haunted, because I do have a lot of targets, one Torrent, one Mirror Force, and one Ring of Destruction. Finishes out the traps. This deck is very much focused on just keeping opponents' monsters off the field, I guess. Which I guess what every deck's kind of focuses, but this deck focuses a little bit heavier on monster destruction than most, as you can see through the triple Sakuretsu and widespread. That's not very normal. Going into the spells, we have 2 Noblemen of Crossout, 2 Smashing Ground. So this is something else that's also very not standard. I've really fallen in love with Smashing Ground. I don't know how to explain it, but on top of just being able to get general, like, annoying monsters, being like Thousand Eyes Restrict, Chaos Monsters, Kaiku, King Tiger, whatever it might be, just like off the field, there are just times where you just don't have enough to deal with what they have. And that this being able to take care of a monster all on its own is almost entirely worth it. So I do run 2 of those, and then I run everything else as one Book of Moon, 1 Rhoda, 1 Premature, put these over here, 1 Heavy Storm, 1 Snatch Steal, 1 MST, 1 Graceful, 1 Pot of Greed, and 1 Delinquent Duo. So that runs out the spells. And then going into the monsters, very similar to before. In fact, it may have only had 1 monster change, I don't know. 2 Old Vindictive, 1 Faith, and 1 Apprentice Magician. So again, something that I toyed around with a lot in the past is playing like multiple, if not 3 of Apprentice with 2 Faith or 3 Faith, 1 to 2 Old Vindictive, or throwing in Hand of the Sacred Nephthys, whatever. But after running these numbers and following what Jerry played in his 2006 deck, this works really well. Just drawing Old Vindictive by itself is just, it's not a bad thing. Being able to turn 1 set that, and then either destroy the monster that they're attacking it with next turn, bait out a Nobleman, or if they set a monster and you can just flip and pop their monster. Let's say it's Gravekeeper Spy, or like a Tomato or something. If you hit like Sandian, obviously terrible. But again, if you hit probably that most popular turn 1 Gravekeeper Spy, that's insane. That, like, not only does that just give you the plus, but the momentum you get from having that play, it's insane. It's absolutely undeniable that puts you ahead more than just the 1 card. I think that's a lot of a mental game kind of thing, but I do love these numbers. And then another thing I'm really liking about this deck is it's such player preference that at any point you can switch out basically anything to add different things. Like instead of 2 Old Vindictive, 2 Magician of Faith. Or instead of like a Breaker, you can put a Magician of Faith, and so on and so forth. But these numbers, I am very much enjoying these numbers. I don't really care to run more than 1 Magician of Faith right now, just because I hate drawing it. Then I run the 1 of Mystic Tomato. Again, another card that you can easily put up to 2, if not 3, because why not? 1 Donzaluk, 1 Spirit Reaper. So Jerry ran, I think it was 3 Spirit Reapers. I toyed around with 2 a little bit. I ended up dropping down to 1. I think Spirit Reaper and Donzaluk kind of handle the same purpose of being able to knock cards out of the opponent's hand. So I was toying around 2, and I dropped a second one for a Dekoichi that I play 1 of. Again, I really like turn 1 plays, as in, do I have a turn 1 play that leads me into a turn 2 play? The type of player that I am, I enjoy having a lot of control. I don't enjoy speedy games. I don't enjoy back and forth games, I guess. It's really just control. I enjoyed controlling what I have on the board. So anything like Mystic Tomato, Apprentice Magician, Dekoichi, Gravekeeper Spy, that outside of a Noble and Crossout for the most part, ensures that I still have a monster on the field for the following turn, or I get that draw of Dekoichi or whatever it might be. That's the kind I love having that. I love having those options. So I think most players do, but that's why I ended up dropping Reaper and throwing it at Dekoichi. Then I have 1 Sangan, 1 Mobius. Again, I think a very, very overpowered play is, again, having this set, flipping, destroying a monster, sacrificing for Mobius, destroying 2 back row. That puts you ahead so far. It's demoralizing. It really is demoralizing to anyone who's playing. Then I have the 1 Breaker. Again, Breaker, I'm liking it. I'm definitely liking it, but it's, again, one of those things, complete player preferences. Do I want to run Breaker, or do I want to turn that into something else? And that's why I'm really loving this deck, because it can form into so many different things. Kaiku, again, another one of those cards. And I personally just absolutely love Kaiku. I have a Strike Ninja. So Strike Ninja is interesting. I kind of looked at it. I've always loved Strike Ninja. It's been one of my favorite cards for a very long time. And I looked at it and I thought, what is its real purpose? And, 1700, definitely not bad. 1200, that's that magical defense that Tsukiyomi can't get over. So very good. But Strike Ninja's purpose it's this. This is what Strike Ninja's purpose is. That's insane. For you to have 1 card that you can summon and just start baiting out all these power traps for no reason, or maybe even, I don't know. I just don't know, because if they get low on life and you attack, they have to start using those. They have to, and you lose nothing. That is Strike Ninja's purpose. Strike Ninja as a late game monster when resources are low it's overpowered. It kind of, I don't want to say ensures victory, but if you're hitting that 3,000, 4,000 life point range, like that mid-game time, and your opponent has 2 back rows, and you're just like, okay, they've lost a lot of their power spells, whatever it might be, Strike Ninja, it'll win you the game. It absolutely will, all by itself, just being able to bait those out 1 at a time. And then Exiled, who I'm quickly realizing is one of the best monsters in the format, and I wish it were at more than 1. It is so good. And then I run 1 Skilled Dark, 1 Blade Knight, 1 DD Warrior Lady, and 1 BLS. So I really only have 3 lights. Oops. If you include DD Warrior Lady, I have 4, but it removes itself, obviously. I've never really encountered a situation where I don't have enough lights. I could throw in a second Magician of Faith, like I said, but I think 4 lights is more than enough to support BLS, especially when 2 of them are searchable via Rhoda. The other one is searchable via Apprentice Magician. And I guess these 2, they speak for themselves enough. This is another one of those cards that could realistically be anything else, maybe even Azure Priest. Again, however, it goes back to my playstyle of I enjoy having a field set. So being able to turn 1700, again, very good. 1900 is insanely good. It's just being able to set that, and these sleeves. Look at those sleeves. That's amazing. Anyways, I digress. Just being able to set, they attack, and it just walls. I do think that's invaluable. I do think having that resource, even if it's a monster that you don't plan on sacrificing or doing anything with, because I don't run Gravekeeper Spy, which I could throw some stuff out and make room for Gravekeeper Spy, of course. But I really like the deck as it is, and this being able to be a big light monster with that defense that kind of takes the role of Gravekeeper Spy, plus being able to have that offensive pressure, I definitely value that. I definitely value being able to summon this and bait out Mirror Force, Sakuretsu Armor's Ring of Destruction, just because it's a big, tough body to deal with. So, again, that is the deck list. I think that's really, like, that's the final deck list. Like, that's what I'm sticking with. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what I should name it. I really want to name it something after myself. PH Blue. We'll call this PH Blue GOAT format. A little bit selfish. All right, thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.